Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here today with a daily coin analysis. Today I am going to be reviewing REEF. I am going to be talking about technical analysis only. This project has recently had some FUD and different conflicting information about it over the last few days and week, and I don't really know much about that. To be honest, I'm just going to be trading the chart. I am just going to be reviewing the chart, so you can talk about whatever tokenomics or FUD or whatever you want in the comments section. I'm not going to be really reviewing that. There are much smarter people than me that you can get that information for. I'm just going to be reviewing the TA. So in general, I did think this was a bullish project before. I don't know what to say about it with the current situation in terms of the FUD, but again, let's just go into the TA alone. So this was a new listing, and it's important to understand too that these long wicks, these actually do matter, even though it's so far away. I can nearly guarantee that if and when price gets to this point, it's going to have some sort of effect around this area, just because price generally remembers. But it doesn't really matter for a long time just because we are so far away. So because REEF is a new listing, there's not much price history at all. I mean, there's basically 2.5 months of price history here. These were the daily closes, and this area acted as resistance, this 2 cents area, or 0.023, and you could see price being held beneath that area several times. You can basically see tap, 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 and price could not break through. As I said, these swing highs are generally good spots of support and resistance. Equally so, this would be a good area of support if price ever reaches that area. And so this was a resistance area. Obviously, once resistance gets flipped, it becomes support, and that's exactly what happened here. Break up, and there might be like a, let's look at these. Okay, so in order to get down to it, you need to scale down to the low time frame charts. This is where the real good stuff is at. If you want to mark levels. Okay. Okay. So those are my levels marked. And lo and behold, this area right here, this is a significant level. And there's probably other like 1 minute levels too that you can scale down to. That's one thing I didn't really do here, was I didn't scale down to like 1 minute. Because whenever you have new price history type of coins, every single tick counts, and scaling down to like even lower time frames like 1 minute, you're going to see levels and price action that actually are significant in my opinion. Of course you can't see that stuff if you just zoom out, even to the 1 hour or whatever, and there's probably some sort of micro level as well, like it's up here, or fib level, I'm not sure exactly. But either way, okay, so bottom line is, what's the trend? The trend is bearish here for REEF USD, and this is undeniable. This wick here acted as an interesting SR level, mainly a support level. Price blitzed up past it and then came back down and found support initially, bounced, and now price is kind of consolidating. So is it still bullish? Yes, I believe that price action is still bullish on higher time frame charts. If you start to go down to lower time frames, you could start to make arguments that this is bearish because there are lower highs and lower lows being formed. However, if you're always going to be favoring high time frames over the lower time frames, and in general, this, you can clear everything here too. I mean, there's demand right here, and this demand area has been tapped multiple times. And as I highlight, or I try to emphasize every single time in my videos, support and resistance both get weaker and weaker every time it gets tapped. And here you can see it getting tapped once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and price is just consolidating along these areas here. And I always like to say that price is basically like a bouncing ball. Whenever you drop it initially on the floor, the first reaction is the best, second reaction is a little less so, third, fourth, and then it just drops through. So this is always kind of what a good analogy is for SR, in that you're kind of seeing that here. You're seeing price kind of just consolidate over and over and over again, and you know, the bounces are getting weaker and weaker. So I'm pretty neutral in general on REEF. High time frame chart, I'm still bullish, and it'd be okay if this kind of formed like a low. You know, this 036 area kind of held. That would be bullish to me. And basically what you're kind of looking for is kind of a version of this right here, basically, where you basically are seeing kind of like this consolidation and kind of like a rounded price action, where you basically see a higher low being formed. And lows always stick out to you on the chart. That's something that Crypto Cred said, and I fully agree too. Like, you can always denote, you know, different styles mean different interpretations, and what you call low, you know, might differ based on another person's trading style. But in my opinion, when you're trading more higher time frame charts like the 4-hour, these lows really kind of stand out, in my opinion, because it's where price takes a little while to consolidate and form a bottom. You can see sometimes these quick wicks down like this or like this. And usually that's more common in parabolic situations, like, you know, how we saw it go with 1 inch or something like, or GRT, you know, where you see like a close spike down and then you just see price keeping going, and close spike down, price keep on going. That's sometimes all you'll get. But for more sustainable runs, you'll see coins either accumulate, where they just basically ping pong for a while and accumulate. Theta USD is a good example of this. Or you'll see these types of bottoms form like REEF did right here. So what am I trying to say? I'm basically trying to say that it would be bullish to me if I saw REEF form this type of bottom right here, and or just basically accumulate and just range. That would be bullish to me. I mean, price still has gone on a very nice run in general from the lows, you know, 7.7x or whatever. It looks still pretty good, but again, everything needs resetting, and forming the higher low would be pretty good, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. If you are in REEF, I'm no longer in REEF myself. If this area falls out, then you're looking basically at these kind of levels here. I wouldn't even really call this like a great level here, just because it's so close to where price is currently at, and these areas are already getting tapped a lot. And you can basically use this demand area if you want. So these would be my next levels up if price does continue to fall. If you're looking for REEF in a bullish case, you basically want it to form a higher low or just consolidate. I wouldn't say this is like, you know, a must buy situation. If you want to buy REEF, I would just, again, this area, if it keeps getting tapped, it's going to fall, in my opinion. And there's still a lot of sell volume coming in as well. If you want to be a more conservative entry, 0.03 might be decent. It's going to also depend too on the FUD and the overall how their team addresses it. if everything is all good and dandy, then maybe price will just range a little bit, then go up higher. That's entirely possible. But as of right now, I don't think that REEF is like a necessarily must-buy coin given the market structure and given the TA. If you want to take an aggressive entry, somewhere in the 037 area is certainly totally fine in my opinion. And it's kind of unclear too though with your stop. Like I don't know if you use this area as like your stop or just go lower. Just kind of depends on your trading style. Personally, for me, I would probably just put like 20% of my buy-in around 037 or 038 and just leave like a lot more for lower like 03. That's how I would swing trade it personally. But again, it's like stylistic. And you can also like just wait and to see how price forms, and you can just buy it on the way up too. That's like something that people don't understand is like people always want to get like the best price for their trade. And that's totally valid in terms of stylistic thing, but there's also not any harm in just waiting until like basically price stops falling, like it did here, and then just buying on the way up. So like say you even bought like right here after you missed this first initial good gain, that's still okay. You can still take profit at like this area. This would be like an okay trade. So you just buy here and you take 40%. That's like like you can always just buy it on the way up is what I'm trying to say. And like this isn't a must buy situation in my opinion, given the overall market structure and given the FUD and given everything else. So that's my plan for REEF. I would like to see it accumulate, form a bottom around here. It wouldn't surprise me to see it go lower as well. Yeah, it's going to be dependent on a lot of different factors. REEF BTC, this coin looks a little less good as all BTC pairs all kind of do in general. These wicks were significant SR levels in my opinion, and price basically pulled back from the 116 Satoshis area. And now it's entering this demand area, and again, there's a lot of trading volume in this area. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this area just keep holding a support. But like any other support area, if it keeps getting tapped and those orders are going to get filled, it's going to seek the next area of liquidity, which would be kind of like this 67 to 70 Satoshis area if this current 83 area falls. And yeah, I'm just basically looking. If Bitcoin rips up big, then I expect this one to go lower. Like this will go to 65 or something like that. And that's kind of my plan for REEF BTC. I would basically just kind of stay very cautious with the way Bitcoin is looking personally. And if Bitcoin goes on a big run, then I think this 70 Satoshis area will get tapped personally, 65. So in terms of overall outlook on this project, it's going to really depend on what happens with their fundamental analysis in the coming days and weeks. Personally, like the chart itself still looks pretty good in my opinion. Like it's still bullish and I think that if they can get their FUD out of the way, then the sky's the limit for this thing. And I'm happy to buy back in too. Like that's the thing as you as a trader is you have to be adaptive to your environment and the market conditions. Don't be dead set on trading or exiting something just because you missed out. Like for me personally, I've sold plenty of coins and like at a certain price, and then I see price going up and I think that the entire market's going to keep going up. I'm happy to just enter in at a higher price. Yeah, it sucks like losing out, but like, capturing those potential gains is still important. So don't just be married in a situation where, you make a bad decision or an incorrect decision or, there's never a bad decision when you take profit, but you have to be flexible and just able to basically change bias appropriately. And that's important to understand too for REEF. Like if this just forms a higher low, then I'm happy to just get back in. I don't care. I took a loss before when I bought it like 40 cents or something like that, and I sold at, I bought even a little higher, 45, and I sold it 40 or 39. So like, I took a loss, but I'm happy to hop back in if the entire market looks good and the REEF chart looks good as well. So it's going to depend in terms of overall targets. I have no overall targets. It's going to depend on their news in general and how their marketing team and overall team address it. But the chart itself still looks good. So if you're trading purely on technical analysis, I think the chart looks fine until this area gets lost. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and good luck.